Hey, what's going on, guys? It's another video of Light Sports Breakdown. It's been a couple of days since the last video I posted, and things have kind of been a little slow in the sports news world, but I'm able to bring you a video today because there's updates on the MLB. The MLB has an update. Previously in the last video, I talked about the 50-50 proposal from the MLB owners to the MLBPA. That didn't seem to go out too well. The MLB owners now have proposed a sliding scale proposal in regards to the upcoming season, where the highest paid players will be taking the highest cuts and the lowest paid players will be receiving the smallest cut. And they will the highest players will get less than 40%, and the majority of the smaller players' salaries will be kept. Uh, According to Evan Drillich, reported that the MLBPA is very disappointed in this proposal. I wouldn't blame them. So that means that from my previous video, that instead of half of the highest paid player's salary, they'd be getting significantly less. And that's not a very good thing because a lot of players won't play because their salary. It kind of stinks, but it just always has to be about money. So it's like one or the other because like either the MLB owners aren't happy, but they're getting paid the most compared to the players. The players aren't happy, but they're getting paid significantly less, and the owners are getting the dough. So it's like it's hard to play sides because both of them they're both making significantly higher salaries than a lot of people nowadays, especially with unemployment and everything going on. They had an agreement in March, but ever since then they had like a baseline agreement, but ever since then things have kind of been shaky. Like I said, 50-50 proposal, now this sliding scale proposal where it goes up for the highest players and then it goes lower for players that have significantly lower salaries. It was said that the MLB hopes to start the season by the 4th of July holiday weekend, but if a deal is not reached within the coming days, they have a small window. Last I checked, it was like 10 days. It's less now, but they want to have the season start by the holiday weekend, but then they have to have spring training start up again, and the whole finances has to be worked out. So it's kind of the window's getting smaller, and with the way the negotiations are going, and especially like I just said, the MLBPA was very disappointed in the MLB owners' proposal for a sliding scale, and it just doesn't look good. It hopefully it's really hard because of the amount of money that these players or owners are losing due to this pandemic. It's unforeseen. No one expected this to ever happen. But it's like, I don't know. In my mindset, the way I see it is that if you're still doing your job and doing what you love, regardless of how much you're getting paid, then I don't see the issue. But I just feel like money just corrupts people, and it's just the way society is with money, and it stinks. I wish it would change, but I mean, you got to pay the bills somehow, so I can understand kind of in a way like how money kind of talks and BS walks. But it's just tough. It's tough because I like to play both sides in the situation. I think the owners are going to be losing a significant amount of money, but like a lot of the owners don't pay the money for their teams, and a lot of teams have been losing for a very long time, so it's very hard for me to follow them because they're quote unquote cheap for not wanting to pay more for higher tier players. Instead, rather, I wouldn't say tank as much because I feel like it's more of in the NBA because the NBA, a lot of teams tank to get the highest draft pick. but it's just like a lot of fan bases, they love their team so much, and just the owners just don't contribute to the team. It's just very sad for me to see. But also, in regard to the players, a lot of players get paid, and then they just don't. They're like, oh, I got the bag. I mean, I'm gonna perform, but I mean, I don't have to perform to my caliber every night. So it's just very hard for me to go from one side to the other because there's always pros on one side, cons on the other, pros and cons each side. So it's very tough for me to, I guess, analyze the situation because it's like health and safety is utmost importance, but also it's just like they're at home just like me, and they just want to get back to work, you know? So it's kind of, we're all in like this weird situation, so it's very tough to see how it's coming to an end, but we're making progress, which is a good thing. Last thing I was going to say was Hall of Famer Chipper Jones. He decided to talk because a lot of players like Tony Snell, no, Blake Snell, not Tony Snell, Blake Snell, Nolan Arenado, and Bryce Harper were unsatisfied with their salaries being significantly cut. And I'm going to, in essence, summarize it, because I'm not going to say the whole quote that Chipper Jones said. But basically, he was talking about how there's 30 million people in America that are out of jobs, and people don't want to hear players complaining about only getting 25 to 30% of their salary when they're millionaires. And that he didn't really agree with what Blake Snell said, and that Blake Snell's been kind of quiet ever since his comments because he feels like his agent or the commissioner, Rob Manfred, called him and said, you got to temper what you're saying. Let's just take a step back. We understand you're frustrated, but also you got to understand that health and safety is much more important than money. So it rubs people the wrong way when you're like, oh, I'm not going to play because I'm not going to get mine. So I agree with Chipper Jones because especially he's giving some insight since they had a strike in the 1994-95 season where the players wanted to get paid or argued over compensation. So he's just trying to share his wisdom with the future players and stars that have established themselves in the league. So I definitely agree with what he's saying. But it's hard to see when this will end. Something came out today. The MLBPA, specifically Max Scherzer, said that they're going to send a proposal on Friday, but their new proposal is not going to have any salary cuts. So it does not seem that the gap is still large between the owners and the players, and we have a very small window if we want baseball to start by July 4th. And if it doesn't come to a conclusion in the coming days, then the MLB is going to have to set a new start date for the season. And hopefully we can get some baseball, but the longer we wait, the less games there's going to be, and then it's going to make it more complicated. They want an 82-game season instead of the regular season, a regular long season. So it's just, there's a lot of obstacles to overcome, but hopefully we will get through it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe. I appreciate you all. Thank you.